Level 1. The Qualifier Hopeful. You're 19 years old and the national team manager doesn't know your name yet. You're playing in a mid-table team in your domestic league. Decent minutes, a few goals, nothing that makes headlines outside your own city. World Cup qualifying starts in 18 months. You watch the senior squad list get announced on a Tuesday afternoon, refreshing the Federation's website on your phone between training sessions. Your name isn't on it. You didn't expect it to be, but you start doing something you've never done before. You watch the position you play with different eyes. You study the three players ahead of you in the pecking order the way a student studies a syllabus. What do they do that you don't? One is faster. One reads the game better. One never gives the ball away in his own half. You start training an hour before the rest of your team arrives. Just you and a bag of balls and a rebound net you bought yourself. Your coach notices. He doesn't say much. He just starts giving you more responsibility in matches. A set piece to take. A late substitution in a tight game. You score twice in 6 weeks. Your club is fighting for a European spot, and you're part of why. A national team scout appears at one of your matches. You don't know he's there until after, when your agent calls and tells you. You don't sleep well that night. Level 2. The Provisional Squad Member. 9 months out from the tournament, and the phone call comes on a Thursday morning while you're eating breakfast. It's an assistant coach from the national team. They want you in a training camp. Not the World Cup squad. A provisional gathering of 40 players the manager wants to assess. You tell your parents before you tell anyone else. Your mother cries. Camp is 5 days at a national training center you've only seen on television. You're the youngest player there by 2 years. The senior internationals barely acknowledge you the first day. You room with a 33-year-old center back who has 80 caps and a World Cup semifinal on his record. He doesn't talk to you until the third day, and when he finally does, it's to correct your positioning during a shape drill. You take the correction and apply it immediately. He notices you take it well. That matters more than you understand at the time. The training sessions are faster than anything you've experienced. Sharper decisions required in smaller windows of time. You make mistakes in the first 2 sessions. A misplaced pass in a rondo, a poor first touch under pressure. By the 4th session, you've adjusted. The manager pulls you aside for 90 seconds after the final training. He tells you that you have a chance, not a promise, a chance. You go home and tell no one what he said. Level 3. The Fringe Player. 6 months out and qualifying matches are being played. You're named in every squad now, but you're not starting. You sit on the bench for 3 consecutive qualifiers, watching from the technical area as your team grinds out results. A 1-0 here, a scrappy draw there. Your legs feel ready every single match, and you don't get on the pitch. This is a specific kind of frustration that nobody explains to you beforehand. Being close enough to smell the grass and far enough that it doesn't matter. The 4th qualifier. Your team is up 2-0 with 15 minutes left against a team that's already out of contention. The manager finally turns to you. Get warm. You come on for your competitive debut in a World Cup qualifier. 15 minutes. Low stakes, but real. You touch the ball 11 times. You complete 9 passes. You don't make a mistake. Small, unspectacular. Exactly what the manager needed to see. After the match, a journalist asks you how it felt. You say it felt like home, which is true, but you don't tell them how long you'd been waiting outside the door of that home. Level 4. The Squad Hopeful. 3 months out and the manager has to cut 40 provisional players down to 26. This is the cruelest part of the entire process, and everyone knows it. Players who have given a decade to the national team get phone calls telling them they're not going. You know players this has happened to. You've seen grown men cry about it in locker rooms. The uncertainty sits with you constantly, in training, at meals, lying awake at 2 a.m. calculating your odds against players you respect and players you don't. The manager announces the final squad on a live broadcast. You watch it with your family gathered around a television, the same setup you remember from watching World Cups as a child, except now, the broadcast might contain your own name. He reads the goalkeepers first, then the defenders, then the midfielders. Your position comes. He says 4 names. Yours is the 3rd one. Your mother screams. Your father, who has never cried in front of you, has to leave the room for a minute. You've made a World Cup squad. Not started a match, not guaranteed a single minute, but you are going. And going is not nothing. It is, in fact, almost everything. Level 5. The Bench Player. You arrive at the tournament training base 3 weeks before the opening match. The base is a self-contained world. Training pitches, recovery pools, a media zone, security perimeter, 60 support staff for 26 players. You share a room with a teammate you've known since youth academy, which helps. The first training session at altitude leaves you gasping in a way domestic football never has. You adjust over the following days, your body remembering how to process oxygen efficiently, your lungs building capacity you didn't know you needed. Opening match, group stage. 80,000 in the stadium and a global television audience in the hundreds of millions. You're an unused substitute. You watch the entire match from the bench in full kit, ready in theory, unused in practice. Your team draws 1-1. Second group match, same result, unused substitute, another draw. The pressure inside the camp builds. Draw the third match and you're eliminated in the group stage, a national embarrassment. 4 years of build-up ending in nothing. Level 6, the impact substitute. Third group match, must win. 0-0 at halftime against a team playing defensively for the point that would eliminate you both. The manager makes changes at the break. You're one of them. You jog out for the second half with the crowd noise hitting you like a physical wall, louder than anything you've experienced, louder than you knew sound could be. 58 minutes. You receive the ball 30 yards from goal with your back to the play. A defender is tight behind you. You don't think, you just react. A half turn you've drilled 10,000 times without an audience, and suddenly you're facing goal with half a yard of space. You strike it before the second defender can close you down. The ball takes a slight deflection and loops over the goalkeeper into the far corner. Your teammates bury you in the corner flag celebration. Your team wins 1-0. You've scored your first World Cup goal in the match that kept your country in the tournament. The headlines the next morning use your name in a sentence you never imagined seeing written about yourself. Level 7, the group stage starter. The manager starts you in the first knockout match. You've earned it, and everyone in the camp knows why. Round of 16. A genuine football power, a team with 3 players from the world's biggest clubs. You mark their most dangerous attacker for 90 minutes, and he manages 1 shot on target the entire match. Nobody outside football notices defensive performances like this. Everyone inside football does. Extra time, penalty shootout. You've practiced penalties in training 100 times, but nothing simulates the walk from the halfway line to the penalty spot with 70,000 people screaming, and your entire nation watching from home. You're the fourth taker. The score is level. You place the ball, take 6 steps back, and wait for the whistle. Everything goes quiet inside your own head. A strange stillness in the middle of the loudest environment you've ever stood in. You strike it low to the goalkeeper's right. He guesses correctly and gets a hand to it, but the pace beats him. Goal. Your team advances on penalties. You collapse to your knees, not from exhaustion, from something closer to release. Level 8. The knockout hero. Quarterfinal, a match your country hasn't reached in 20 years. You start again. No longer a squad player fighting for minutes. Now a first name on the team sheet. The match is tight, tactical, both managers cautious of the stakes. 73rd minute. A corner comes in. Chaos in the box. The ball breaks loose to you 8 yards out. You don't have time to control it properly, so you don't try.
You strike it first time on the volley. It's not clean, it's not pretty, but it's true. And it goes through a crowd of bodies into the net. Your country reaches a World Cup semifinal for the first time in a generation. You do a post-match interview still in your kit, sweat-soaked, voice cracking slightly, and you say something about the kid who used to shoot at chairs in the backyard and somewhere in your home country. An actual kid watching at home hears it and doesn't fully understand yet why it means something, but will someday. Level 9, the finalist. Semifinal against the tournament favorites. A team stacked with players worth a combined €500 million. You lose 2-1 in a match your country plays with everything it has. A match where effort alone almost closes the talent gap and doesn't quite. You cry on the pitch after the final whistle, not performatively, genuinely, the specific grief of coming 1 match short of the biggest stage that exists in your sport. The third place match 3 days later feels almost cruel. A consolation fixture nobody wants to play, but everyone has to. You started anyway. You score in the 12th minute, a scrappy header from a corner, and your team holds on to win 2-0. Bronze medal. You stand on a podium at a World Cup, a medal placed around your neck. Your national anthem does not play, but your teammates' arms are around you, and you understand that this tournament changed the entire trajectory of your career and your life in 6 weeks. Level 10, the veteran. You're 33 now, playing in your 3rd World Cup. You're not the impact substitute anymore, you're the senior player. The young ones ask questions of in the hotel corridor, the one who explains what altitude does to your lungs, what the walk to a penalty spot actually feels like, how to sleep the night before a knockout match when your mind won't stop replaying scenarios. Your body has slowed in ways that are impossible to ignore now, recovery taking longer, sprint speed down 0.2 of a second from your prime, a number your fitness coach tracks and doesn't hide from you. This tournament, you start 3 matches and come off the bench for 2. Your minutes, managed carefully by a manager who values what you provide, beyond your legs now, composure, tactical intelligence, calming presence in a young dressing room. Your country is eliminated in the quarterfinal on penalties, a heartbreak you felt before, and somehow still isn't easier the third time. You know, without anyone telling you that this was your final World Cup, you take a lap of the pitch afterward, alone, the stadium half empty, and you think about the 8-year-old on the couch watching a final with his family, about the backyard, the 2 chairs standing in as goalposts, the neighbor's fence you climbed over 100 times to retrieve a wayward shot. The distance between that child and this moment is almost impossible to measure, and yet every single step between them makes perfect sense in hindsight. You retire from international football the following year. You've played in 3 World Cups, scored in 2 of them, stood on a podium once. It will never be enough, and it will always be enough, both at the same time. And you're old enough now to hold both truths without needing to resolve them. Somewhere right now, an 8-year-old is sitting on a couch watching a World Cup final with his family, feeling something for the first time that he doesn't have words for yet. Tomorrow he'll be in a backyard with a ball, missing shots, climbing a fence to get it back, trying again. He has no idea what's ahead of him. Most never find out. A few of them do. That's the only thing that makes any of it worth chasing.